Hey there, it's Kurt Nilsen with Sunrise Mortgage Group in Oregon City, Oregon. This is the first part in a series of mini classes that I'm going to be doing covering all the steps in the home buying process. Over a number of weeks, I'm going to be going step by step and walking you through the home buying process from A to Z. My goal is to cover the top things that you need to know and questions that we mortgage brokers and my realtor friends get asked every day about the home buying process. Okay, I have a confession to make. I almost left this section out because the first step involves calling a mortgage professional. And I really struggled with whether to include this section because the last thing I want was for this to sound like a commercial to call me. But this is such a critical piece of the puzzle that it has to be discussed. So, the very first step that I would highly encourage you to take is to call a mortgage professional the moment you decide to buy a home, even if it's 6 to 18 months down the road. And frankly, I don't care what mortgage professional you call, but please call someone. And here's why. I want you to have a stress-free home loan experience, and to do that, it's really important that you let a mortgage professional do a little homework for you way before you buy. Here's a very common mistake that I see home buyers make. They go out and they start looking at houses before they've spoken to anybody. They find a house that they're interested in and they get themselves and their family all excited about a home before they even have any idea about what they're qualified for, what their down payment options are, or no down payment options for that matter, and most importantly, whether or not they're comfortable with the monthly payment. Truth is, a lot of people make dangerous assumptions regarding qualifying for a home loan. There's a ton of bad information floating around out there about credit score requirements, length of time on the job needed, how much down payment you'll need, etc. In general, the information floating around in the cyber world makes it sound a lot more difficult than it really is to qualify for a home loan. Here's a very simple first step. Call a mortgage professional. Again, even if it's 6 to 18 months down the road before you want to buy a home. The call will only last, maybe 10 or 15 minutes. You don't need to go to anybody's office or provide piles of paperwork. During the short, free, no obligation call, your mortgage professional will ask you some basic questions about your income, debt, and your credit. I would highly encourage you to let the mortgage pro get a copy of your mortgage credit report. Don't rely on anything that you've seen on Credit Karma. Credit Karma doesn't really explain it, but Credit Karma is just an estimate of your credit score, and we need a mortgage credit report to determine what the actual score is going to be to qualify for your loan. Now, remember, at this point, we're just getting you some loan pre-qualification information, not a pre-approval. A pre-qualification is to look at the numbers and to advise you. A pre-approval is an official examination of all your paperwork, income, all that kind of stuff. A pre-approval is needed before you actually make an offer on a house, and since you're 6 to 18 months away from buying, we don't need to do a pre-approval yet. We're just doing a pre-qualification. So usually the next day after you and your mortgage professional have talked, they'll call you back with some very valuable information. Here's what you'll learn from a simple 10 to 15 minute call. You'll learn what price range of home you'd be eligible for. You'll know what your down payment options are, or if you have any low or zero down payment options, which most people do, by the way. You'll find out what your monthly payment would be, and by far the most important reason for making this call so early in the process is your mortgage professional can help you get prepared by advising you on ways to raise your credit score, if needed, so you can get the best interest rate possible, and if you need to work on paying some debt down or paying some debt completely off so you can get loan approval once you do decide to buy. Can you see how it would be very valuable to take this step way before you're actually ready to buy? As it does take some time to get the credit scores up and pay down some of that debt if needed. So calling a mortgage professional early on is a really important first step. Please don't take this advice lightly. A simple 10 to 15 minute no obligation phone call will be one of the smartest steps you'll ever take in the home buying process. Thanks for listening in. We'll talk to you next week.